Amelia, what group are you going to speak to?
This will be a mini devotional for a women's event.
Okay. And whenever you're ready, you can begin.
A man named Paul Turnier once said, "There are two things we cannot do alone. One is to be married, and the other is to be a Christian." So today we're going to look at how important it is to live our Christian life in community with other believers. We find in Hebrews 10:24 and 25, "And let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works, and not neglecting to meet together as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near." In the first section, we see the author urging us to grow together. You know, it's easy to remain settled in a comfort zone with friends and family who don't challenge us much or require much from us. And before we know it, life is pretty stagnant without any growth. Consider my glass of water. It's clear, it's clean, it's healthy. Can this water stir itself up or move itself? No, it needs an outside source like my spoon in order to get the water moving and stirred. Now, what would happen if I were to leave this glass of water sitting here for a lengthy period of time? Anyone? It would still, it would get green, it would get slimy, it would start to smell, and it would no longer be a healthy glass of water. This is the case with our spiritual lives. If we stay stagnant long enough and there is no growth, some pretty disgusting things can start to grow, like complacency, disinterest, and apathy. So we need to live in a community of other believers who stir us up, who keep us moving in a positive direction, who will encourage us to grow and to do more good in the name of Jesus and to love better. Which brings us to why this second point is so important. We need to gather together. The verse says, "Don't neglect to meet together, as is the habit of some, but encourage one another all the more as you see the day," meaning the day of Jesus' return, approaching. Now, this doesn't mean just go to church. That's good. We need to go to a weekly service where we're taught the word and we worship together, but I believe that's only a portion of what it means to gather together. Some of the most encouraging times I've ever had have been running on a country road with a friend, or a conversation over a cup of coffee, or helping somebody paint their living room. I'll never forget one such case. I was running on a treadmill in a friend's basement, and she was huffing and puffing on the Stairmaster next to me, and I was unloading. At this point, I had lived with my in-laws for nearly 9 months, and although I loved them dearly, I missed my privacy, and it was almost Christmas, and I wanted so badly to be in our own home, but that wasn't going to happen because we were still waiting for a home to sell in another state. And I was just letting her have just how miserable this was and how terrible it was. With one smart sentence, my friend set me straight. She said, "But you know, when your kids think back on this time, they're going to think this was a wonderful year because it was a Christmas they got to spend while they lived with their grandparents." And then God finished that sentence in my head saying, "And you don't want them to remember that Mom was grumpy and ornery because she wasn't in her own house." My friend gave me the courage to go through a difficult season in life with patience and joy and perseverance. And the closer we get to the return of Jesus, the more difficult life is getting. We see that every day in the headlines. We need courage more than ever to stand up, to speak the name of Jesus in love, and to do the most good we can in his name. So we need to gather not just in large settings, but throughout the week in small groups or with friends, where we know each other's situations and we can instill courage in each other to go forward and do the right thing. So my question is, do you have a relationship with at least one person that you regularly connect with and you mutually help each other grow? If not, pray for God to show you how to begin to cultivate a relationship like that this week. Maybe it's by joining a small group. Or maybe God will bring a new friend in an unexpected place. Or maybe he'll show you to take a current friendship to the next level. Grow and gather together.